Welcome to Right Way Politics. We do politics the right way, the winning way, and we leave the left way behind. And presidential candidates will leave the left way behind in 2024. If a new poll in Virginia is correct, it seems like we might not know who the presidential nominee is going to be for the Republican Party, but we have a pretty good clue on who the vice presidential candidate should be. The Electoral College poll came out. They do polls every couple of months. Pretty standard. I don't like their methodology. We'll get into that later. But I want to review their latest numbers in their latest poll that came out. And it basically says if you want to win and if you want to shake up the Electoral College, Glenn Youngkin would be a great choice as a vice presidential candidate and running mate. He is talked about on a list of possible candidates for the presidency. He polls very well in Virginia. He barely, if at all, makes 1% nationally. He hasn't announced, he hasn't really fueled any expectations about entering the presidential field. But coupled with the history that if you're a governor of Virginia, you're limited to one term. So immediately, as soon as you win the governor's mansion, you're looking at what to do next. With U.S. senators or former governors of Virginia, Youngkin doesn't seem interested in running for the Senate, at least not now. His thoughts have been on running nationally, and the thoughts about his campaign and the conjecture has always been for 2024 not running against Tim Kaine, who is up that year, who's already announced for his re-election. But let's look at this Electoral College poll and see what it tells us. It's been pretty standard. The right track, wrong track in Virginia, as far as the nation, right track 27%. That's roughly where it's been for many years. It peaked at 35. Its bottom was basically in the at 16 when the pandemic broke, but the wrong track at 69%, that's roughly where it was a year ago at 67%. So the right track, wrong track numbers in this poll are pretty consistent. As far as the Commonwealth of Virginia, right track, wrong track, 55%. That's fairly high, higher than most recent numbers. Wrong track, 39%, very low. It goes back to, you have to go back to 2018 to find a lower wrong track number. So things are going well in the Commonwealth of Virginia polling-wise, with 55% right and 39% wrong. And then you get Glenn Youngkin's job approval rating, which is 57% and a disapproval rating of 35. 35 is the bottom. It's the lowest disapproval rating he's had in his governorship. 57 is a peak. He was only at 50% this time last year, has gone up 7 points in a year. Then you get to Joe Biden. Joe Biden's approval rating is upside down, 38% approval, 56% disapproval. So Biden not doing great in the Commonwealth. Glenn Youngkin doing extremely well. That's a plus 22% in job approval for Glenn Youngkin and a minus 18% for Joe Biden. And the General Assembly gets positive numbers here, the highest approval rating they've had in several years of 48%, disapproval 37%, so they're plus 11. Favorability ratings, the personal favorability of Glenn Youngkin is at 52%. Joe Biden is at 40%. Donald Trump is at 33%. So that tells you where Virginia is going to go in a year. They don't like Biden. They really don't like Trump. And Glenn Youngkin is soaring. We look at the presidential respondents among Republicans in this poll. Donald Trump gets 39% of Republicans. Ron DeSantis, 28%. Third place is Glenn Youngkin at 6%. Nikki Haley at 5%. But really, this is a Trump-DeSantis race, and if Youngkin would declare, I'm sure his numbers would go higher. But still third place in Virginia, considering that you're not even talking about running, is not too shabby. But the real key in this is the second choice. Who's your second choice? And among second choices, DeSantis is up there at 21 and Trump is up there at 18, but they don't lead. The number one second choice among Virginian Republicans is Glenn Youngkin. That is telling. That says if you tell Trump supporters they can't have Trump, or you tell DeSantis supporters they can't have DeSantis, they go to Glenn Youngkin. If I can't have my guy, I'd rather have Glenn. What does that tell you? It tells you that Trump supporters and DeSantis supporters each want Youngkin on the ticket. That's what it tells me. Now, the sad part about this is it's a registered voter poll, which I don't put a whole lot of stock in because at the end of the day, registered voter polls don't match likely voter polls. So the lower the projected turnout, the higher chance of the results being flat out wrong. But if you're going to compare a registered voter survey or a poll to any election, a presidential election is closer to being right than anything else because, of course, more people vote in a presidential contest than any other election. So you get the closest to a registered voter count in a presidential year than you do in any other year. But they do Biden beating Trump by 2 points in Virginia. They do DeSantis beating Biden by 3. But if the election was Glenn Youngkin versus Joe Biden, Youngkin wins by 15 points. So you've got 47-45 Biden over Trump. You've got 47-44 DeSantis over Biden. You've got Glenn Youngkin 54 to Biden 39 if the presidential contest was held. They have a few, what are your most important issues? The inflation issue is down 5 points from where it was a few short months ago. Around Christmas time, it was 27% saying the inflation was the number one issue. It's down to 22. The number one issue is the economy when it relates to jobs. In Virginia, abortion is way low in single digits, has been that way for a while. Crime is at 13%, which is a third place finisher. That is up 5 points from a few months ago. Gun policy is steady at 10%. But when you pair the economy, jobs, and inflation together, you get 46%, which is a little bit down from December where it was at 50%. But by far, it's a pocketbook election. Always has been in Virginia. And with the bottom, if you have you're talking about the economy, jobs, inflation, and crime, way over 50% of the people naming it the most important issue. Issues that Democrats care about are way, way, way low when it comes to these kinds of issues. And abortion, a mere 5% of the voters think it's the most important issue. There's a lot of other issues in here, but the bottom line is Glenn Youngkin may be the key to Virginia's 13 electoral votes, and it's been a long time since a Republican has won Virginia in a presidential contest, a very long time. And if you're looking at the electoral map in 2024, you see the big giant swath of the country being red, the Northeast and the West Coast being blue, and then you have all the states that are up for grabs. You see Virginia's Electoral College map at 13 votes being very, 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 very important. Wisconsin has only 10, Michigan has 15, Pennsylvania has 19. Virginia's 13 votes could be pivotal. Most electoral map drawers look at Virginia as a key Democratic state. They don't think it's in play. They count it as a given that Virginia is going to go for the Democrats, and if it does not, that throws a mess into the Democrats' electoral plans. The Democrats need Virginia. They know it. It's why Hillary picked Tim Kaine to be her running mate. She won Virginia. Biden won Virginia. If a Republican wins Virginia, the onslaught is on. And it looks, according to this poll, if you want to get Virginians' votes, get Glenn Youngkin on the ticket. It's our quick polling update for right-way politics. We're looking at the 2024 presidential campaign, And if there's Youngkin on the ticket, it bodes well for Republicans. Thank you very much for joining us at Right Way Politics. This is Brian Kerwin, your political consultant, and we hope you find your way back to Right Way Politics.